order for you to really feel the authenticity of this world that we were creating, we actually physically needed to be in the bush of South Africa.
And action!
I wanted to be in Africa and I wanted to experience Africa. Somebody mentioned in the beginning, oh, why don't you shoot this in Atlanta? I was like, no way. We're going to Africa to shoot this one. That's one of the reasons I wanted to make it.
This is South Africa at its finest. In the film, we see this beautiful vista. They call it God's country, and you see why.
Getting to come to South Africa to film Beast, first of all, is a dream come true. We got to shoot in 3 locations. First was Limpopo, and that was a different experience. We were staying in a hut.
You could hear all the different variety of animals, just like the birds, the leopards, even a lion, elephant, and giraffe. It was just really nice to be on that reserve and hear all those amazing things.
Right now, we are in South Africa, but specifically we're in the Limpopo region. And we're on set right now at a location on an amazing reserve, a lot of green space. As you can see behind me, you can't duplicate this anywhere in the world. You can see the African plains and savannas right behind me. The problem was we had no idea how we would get our truck to this location. And I challenged our amazing crew and our amazing technical team to find a way to make this location work. So they actually built a ramp where there was none to bring the cars up, to bring the actors up, and to bring the equipment up. And it allowed us to shoot this scene in a location without compromising.
So in our story, our lead actors visit an abandoned village. They call it the Ghost Village. And we find that there's no one here, and they quickly realize that they should probably hightail it out of here.
That entire village did not exist. It was all created from scratch by Jean Van Zyne and his team. Our production designer did such an amazing job, and they worked with the locals to make sure that it felt real.
So here is the beginning of the set, where we will go through the buildings to enter the village and to avoid to discover everything at the same time. So this will be where Nate's daughter will be lost the first time. So I designed some realist maze, but really more architecture to be sure that there is transparency.
Jean Van Zyne, when we scouted, saw that rock formation and backdrop and felt like this was the perfect place for the village.
The detail is incredible. Every single facet of the village life was by design.
We had people on the crew who said, this looks like the village that I grew up in. This is such a good job. The other thing was a watering hole.
We couldn't find a watering hole that fulfilled what we were looking for. So I think in the end, we decided to create a water hole.
We actually drilled down deep into the earth, into the water table, and pumped water up and created our own watering hole. It looks so real that the animals have found our watering hole. And after we're done filming, they can have it. But we gotta keep them out right now because sometimes actors don't do quite so well next to some of the wildlife. Somebody else that worked on our crew that I was so impressed by was our costume designer, Maura Meyer, because we wanted to make sure that this felt authentic to the region and to what people wear.
We are using the costuming, some typical Venda cloths to give the viewer the feeling where we are.
I didn't want to make it the Hollywood version of these kind of places. I wanted to make it very authentic. At the same time, they needed to show the journey on the clothes.
When you talk about actors wearing the same costumes for 75% of a script, you are involved in what we call multiple costume nightmare, actually. So, for instance, Nate's character, he has literally got 60 pairs of the same trousers, 90 pairs of the same t-shirt, and 70 pairs of the same shirt.
I need you to trust me right now.
With a film like this, you have to make sure that you've got costumes that can weather the elements, and she did that really well.
I want you to breathe and feel and smell this movie as visceral as it can be.
Go back to the calls.
We wanted our story to be one that told the beauty of this land and of the people who live here, but also the fact that there are real stakes, real peril, and real danger makes for an incredibly entertaining film.
It's absolutely a cinematic experience. I felt this way. I lived it and I was there, and I want to bring that to the screen. I love every second of it, and I really love the people there. It's a great country to shoot in.